to solve our local and peculiar problems. How are we doing that? I don't see enough of that, and I think it's one of the things that we really need to address. ASP earlier on said that here we have a very interesting, a very relevant conversation around ICT all week. Let there be somebody and their wife divorcing in social media, and it will be all over the place, viral. Let us talk about what we need to do as a people to improve our positioning globally, and it doesn't go viral. There's something we need to address there, okay? And maybe it starts from the leadership side, but we need to do enough to start asking, how do we solve our own local problems? Yeah, we have agricultural challenges. Why aren't we using some of these technologies to tackle some of those problems, get better yield, address food security challenges? Why aren't we doing that? We're not doing enough of it. Is there adequate support for students and researchers? How many of our researchers in our institutions are really getting funding to look at how digital technologies can be maximized from a Ghanaian context? I'm not sure they're getting enough. A couple of years ago, I was speaking to one who was saying that, the funding literally isn't there. Those private sector organizations that have their own specific interest may fund, but it is not done with a view to the collective. It's done with a view to benefiting those organizations. That needs to be addressed. Are there enough not-for-profit investments to help things along within a social context? I think mobile money has done more than most at trying to bring financial inclusion and digital inclusion. Now, most people, even our elderly people can use mobile money and stuff like that. But is that enough? Given where technology is going, given that we are now talking about quantum computing, is that enough? At the moment, the investments are for profit. So organizations are investing to try and get more profit. But there's a social context that needs to be addressed that I believe is not being sufficiently addressed at the moment. Next question, what are we doing to align and orient our population to the new wave of digital technologies? Is it okay to just say, listen, as for we dear, we are not that, we'll leave it to the, sharp boys and girls who are into ICT, and the rest of us will just, chalk. If you see what is happening in Japan, if you see what is happening in China, if you see what is happening in Singapore, where CK and I had the opportunity, the privilege to visit just a couple of months ago, it's incredible. And they're doing it at national level. Yeah? They're bringing the population along. And I think it's about time that we also started considering some of these things. Yeah? What are we doing? Are we doing enough to create access to these technologies for our people? Yeah? I remember a few years ago when I was leading Barclays to ABSA transition, we invested a lot of money in new technologies as part of that transition. And we were expecting that because we had a new app and ATMs and all these other things, that most people would stop going to the branches. And then I went to one branch to visit one time committee, one branch, and I saw multitudes of people there. The whole place was choked. So I was like, hold on, what am I getting wrong? There's USSD, there's an app, there's ATMs that don't only give you cash, they also take cash. You can do a lot of your account checking, movements of money, even on the ATM. We've invested heavily in all of this. Why are people not using them and they still insist on getting up, getting ready, taking a car, coming to a branch? I didn't get it. And I had conversations with my colleagues, and they said to me, you see, you don't get it. You are there trying to bring all these digital technologies. But what you haven't done is to address their fears, because a lot of them still have fears that if they put this money into the ATM and it doesn't go into the right place, who are they going to ask, right? Okay? So there's all manner of things that I feel as a people, as a collective, we need to address so that we elevate our population discourse. We need to. It's not enough. We don't have a critical mass yet, so we're not globally competitive. I'm seeing things in Kenya that we're not we're not getting to that level. I'm seeing things in Nigeria, we're not getting to that level, and we need to. Okay, and then the final question is, what orientation programs are there in the offing to support people? When we do digital transformation in organizations, we orient the people, we reorient them. Yeah? So in APSA, we reoriented the people. We took them on different conversations, different trainings, etc. I'm not seeing that enough, I think, and that, I think, is a challenge. Yeah. Okay. So, what areas could we really apply digital capabilities, digitally transform for the betterment of us as individuals, that we're all sharper, more ready for the world tomorrow, as we saw in that video, and also for our country as a whole. And I've just selected a few. Agriculture, and I'm really passionate about this because I've seen the possibilities of AI. I've seen that AI can help us, figure out how we make our land more arable, more fertile, how we can get better food security as a result, how we do maybe more relevant farming practices within our part of the world. There are questions there that AI can easily help us answer to make agriculture a better space all around. Manufacturing, we don't do enough of it. Importation is high, but knowledge is out there, and knowledge can be utilized to our benefit. I think we can see how we use digital technologies more in manufacturing to help our Ghanaian context and our Ghanaian economy, and to help our people grow. Education, I needn't say too much about that. Many people are now using ChatGPT already, but there's a lot more we can do in that space when it comes to digital technologies and education. Transport, or road construction. One of the things I've always wondered is, apart from the cutting of corners, and it's a little bit political, I don't want to go there this morning, but apart from the cutting of corners, I always wonder, why is it that when we build roads and similar infrastructure, 3 months, 6 months later, you see them coming apart? Could part of the reason being maybe the type of materials we're using are not suited to our climate, maybe? Can we use digital technologies to answer some of those questions and see maybe what the right sort of materials might be for our particular type of climate? The fact that something works well in southern France does not necessarily mean it will work well in the Ghanaian context. So there are questions to be answered there, and that's a whole area I feel there are possibilities. Transportation in many different ways, payment systems, etc. Also, safety, even right down to manufacturing vehicles here, and how we can do it to make reduce the importation and make stabilize our cities more. Yeah? And then finally, healthcare and medical, and there's a whole lot of stuff that can be done there as well. In healthcare, I see that there are pockets of good stuff in the country, but they are so small that they are only accessible to some of the elite of people who can afford it. But it's not only the elite that get sick. We all get sick. So there's a whole conversation about how we can use modern digital technologies to improve healthcare delivery in our country. And this is the last slide. As I said, I lost a lot of time, so I was trying to fast track and make sure that we were still on time. And I have some, few recommendations. I see one of our big men, so I'm paying homage. And it's just a few recommendations that I have. Number one is, I think it's about time we shifted from the largely technology orientation. You see, technology orientation just requires us to go and invest in more and more technology. Yeah? I've seen technologies, as I said earlier, on board for $5 million, and they became a waste. We need to shift from that to more of digital orientation. Digital orientation asks the questions, do you need this technology? What are you going to do with it? Who's going to use it? And are those people who are going to use it ready to use it? Have you prepared them? It asks the questions. And I think once those questions are being asked, the outcomes are more likely to be the outcomes that we want. Number two, we need to invest more in digital transformation and not just big tech. Yeah? The people side needs to come into this conversation big time, because the people side is one of the few areas we've neglected in a big way, and we need to correct that. Yeah? Number 3, we need to develop the requisite skills, not only amongst the practitioners, but also awareness, the country as a whole, yeah, the masses. We need to improve awareness. We need to make people clear on what is possible. Yeah, because once we can imagine, well, the video, he started by saying you can only create what you can imagine. If you can't imagine it, then it's very difficult. Yeah. And you can only imagine when you know the realms of possibility. And you can only know the realms of possibility when you are aware. So there's a lot of work we have to do in that space. Number 4 is we need to invest more in context-sensitive research. Yeah. I have this quote somewhere that I always say that innovation is contextual problem solving. Yeah, that's what innovation is. Because the innovation that may be happening in Japan now may not be relevant for Ghana. It doesn't really help you. When it's relevant for here, that's when it's innovation. And we're not investing more into context-sensitive research that will benefit us as a people directly. So that's one area I believe we also need to invest in. And then finally, and this one goes out to corporates. See, corporates have entered into the realm of CSR, where we're doing community things, etc. And we're doing it because we want to create the impression that we care. We're all doing it. The truth is, we're also doing it because we want to create positive vibes that will create more money for us, right? That's the reality. And there's nothing wrong with that, because at the end of the day, when you go into business, you go into business to make money. Okay. However, can we do those CSR programs in such a way that they are also geared towards better digital development? Yeah. Can we do some of that? In addition to all the other building of schools, hospitals, can we also develop our people for the future, ready to compete and take our place at the global table? Ladies and gentlemen, I've tried to, as I said, go through it fast track, but there are many, many important points here which I hope you have taken heed of, which we can develop into several conversations. I'm ready. I don't know if there will be another online platform for us to pick up and follow up on some of these things, but I'm certainly ready. And I know that my people from Innovari are ready to support and to guide and to advise in all of this. And I'd like to bring this to an end here. And thank you very much for your time and your patience, listening to me attentively. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I'll quickly invite Alex Texan, Albert Texan to add his presentation. Please, let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much. So, my name is Albert Texan, Chief Business Officer at my task is very simple. And it's very difficult to, follow suit, but I'll do my best. So my presentation is basically to tell you a little story about Innovari as to who we are and what we do, okay? Now, from the very powerful presentation that you've just seen, that should tell you what we also have to offer. And so I'm just going to quickly take you through what Innovari is all about. And please, by the end of this presentation, please ensure you either have my number or any of my colleagues' number, because it will definitely come in handy. All right. So, Innovari. Generally, Innovari, we see ourselves as the business value people, okay? We say we are the business value people because all that we do, yes, at the end of the day, boils down to making money, because we're a business. We're in the private sector, okay? But after making the money, what have you left for your clients? We need to ensure that we're giving our clients value, so that anytime they mention our names, they are mentioning our names for a very good reason, not just because we came for your money, all right? So that is how we see ourselves, and we call ourselves the business value people. Innovari is a management consultancy and training firm. Let me add that we're award-winning as well. We've won quite a number of awards, and we're very proud of that. So please, don't blame me if I tout our Okay, yes. So Innovari is also a tier 1 CSA accredited company, which means that for any company in Ghana, whether critical information infrastructure, regulated company, we are accredited to do business with you, and you can feel comfortable to do business with us. We are also ISO 27001. Can you go back, please? We are also ISO 27001 certified. And basically, we are a company that is here to support you, especially if you're a regulated company. We support various companies from various sectors, private sector, the public sector, and especially regulated companies. We are more of an end-to-end service delivery company, so that anything that is regulatory required, Innovari is the company to come to. So this slide basically tells us in brief what we do, okay? We do business advisory services. That is the consulting bit, where we help companies to implement best practices and implement standards that are required, especially in the regulatory space. We also do human capital development. That is simply to say we do a lot of trainings, okay? A lot of trainings in the various areas that we offer our services for. We are also very strong on audit and assurance services. We have a subsidiary that is simply there for audit services. And when I talk about audit, I'm not talking about financial audit. We are here doing ICT. So our audit is mainly for systems audit, process audit, cybersecurity audit, AML audit. So all the other audits outside financial audits, that is what we do. I see people nodding their heads a lot. Okay. And that is what I want to see, because, I mean, audit, there's not much regulation pushing you to do audit. But audit is very, very essential for you. The same way you feel it is important to have a financial auditor to audit your finances, that is the same way you need auditors to audit your processes, your processes, as well as your, what's the word? Your systems, yes, your IT systems. So that is actually what that subsidiary does, and that subsidiary is called SysAssure. So I'll get to that shortly. And then we are also into media knowledge platforms. We believe strongly in thought leadership as well. So we organize a number of events and provide you with great speakers who can share knowledge on some of the very pertinent issues that are facing our clients. And then we also provide AML, anti-money laundering. Yes, sorry, anti-money laundering. And then we provide security solutions as well. We believe a lot in partnership, and that's why we're also partnering with NITA. We partner with a number of global organizations who provide security solutions for our clients. So that's why I said that we are a one-stop shop. We like to cover all grounds, right from doing the advisory work, doing the hands-on stuff with you, and then also provide you with the solutions that you need, whilst we also audit your systems for you. Next. So, like I mentioned, under the advisory services, we help companies to certify and also implement standards. Some of the very important standards that we assist companies to implement are ISO 27001, which is Information Security Management Systems. As I mentioned, we're very specialized in cybersecurity, so that is a strong area for us. We implement ISO 27001. We also implement 22301, which is business continuity. I think after COVID, if you don't know or don't think that you need business continuity, then you don't need to be here, to be very honest. Because if there's a disruption in the things you do, the way you do business, what you need to do is to have business continuity in place so that you know what to do when something else should happen to you. And COVID was a great teacher. And that is why we are very strong on ISO 22301. PCI DSS mainly for the financial institutions who deal with cards. Ebo was talking about the likes of Visa, okay, Visa, MasterCard, and the likes. So if you're a financial institution, you handle card data, customers' card data. This is what you need to implement, PCI DSS. Next, COBIT for governance as well. And one very key feature that Innovari brings to you or service is CISO as a service, okay? Chief Information Security Officer as a service. Now, for a lot of the organizations, especially financial, not just financial, but then organizations that are implementing security measures in the companies, you need a Chief Information Security Officer. Now, Innovari, as a company, okay, we offer ourselves as a company to you for this role. So instead of probably, and let me just say, finding a CISO these days is not that easy. And you can't just also employ a CISO and pay them peanuts, because once they are employed, they're already straight up at the executive level. So what we've done to help our clients is that you have an entire organization which is at your service, where you pay us a monthly fee to do the work that the CISO would have done for you. And even if you have a CISO and you need the support, because yes, sometimes they get overwhelmed. So a CISO as a service is one of the very important services that we provide to assist our clients who are implementing information security standards. Yeah, so that is also handled by our advisory division. Can we move on to the next, please? All right, so as I mentioned, SysAssure, okay? SysAssure is the division of Innovari, the subsidiary of Innovari that handles the audits that I mentioned, the systems audits, the process audits, the anti-money laundering audits, and any audit that is not financial. Now, one thing you need to understand is that the auditors that come and audit you are not, especially for the IT managers, that I'm sure we have a lot of them here, they are not coming to audit you as though they are your police, okay? I think we all seem to see auditors as police, coming to police us and show our bosses that we are not doing what we are supposed to do right. But goes back to what I said from the beginning. We are the business value people. We want to show you the kind of value you can get from the audits that you're doing. If you have systems running and you're actually losing money and you don't even know it, then you're just working and spending so much money. But when you have audits done, it tells you where the leaks are, okay? And these are some of the very critical things, I think, especially for public sector. I think you need to look at that, because there's so much focus on the financial audit, and then we forget that there are systems audits and process audits. Okay, so SysAssure is the company to do that. Later on, maybe when we're on your lunch break, please feel free to visit our table outside. You can have a discussion with us. And like I said, make sure you have my card at the end of the day as well. CyberAssure. CyberAssure is one of the divisions of Innovari that is focused on hands-on cybersecurity stuff. We do vulnerability assessments and penetration testing, okay? So for those who don't know what that is, it's simply putting ourselves in the place of the hackers that will hack your systems and then penetrate your system and show you how weak your system is. So if I can do it, then you can imagine what a hacker can do to you. So this division is responsible for doing the likes of VAPT. We also do network security testing, application security testing, mobile applications and device management, secure code review, network device security reviews, cybersecurity engineering services, and recently we have also added cloud infrastructure. Okay, so this division can assist you with all of these services if you need any of them done. But I think VAPT is very common for a lot of the IT people here. So if you need any of those services, we are here to assist you. One of our new babies is also our financial services solutions, okay? And especially for the banking sector, we're doing a lot of stuff there, mobile wallets, and some other stuff. Like I said, it's a new baby, so once it is well developed, you'll be hearing a lot more from us in this area. And then, like I mentioned, we do a lot of thought leadership events, okay? So thought leadership, where we look at thematic areas that are affecting the industries that we do services in. So one of the, some of the key events that we hold every year are the CISO Summit, the Chief Information Security Officer Summit. We had that earlier this year in February. I don't know if anybody has heard of the CISO Summit. Okay, DG, thank you very much. All right, we also have the Risk Summit, which we had just in March, if I'm not mistaken, yes, in March. And then we have a final event that will be coming up this year, the Executive Insights. So Executive Insights is more like targeted at the top level people. So one of the things we realize is that, so yes, you have CISO summits where the IT managers will come and hear about all the cybersecurity stuff. You have risk for the very risk-oriented people. But then, what do you do for the board level? The people who actually take the decisions. The people who actually approve the budgets that you put before them. They have a certain mentality, like my brother was saying earlier, that, oh, this one is IT, it's later, until something happens. So this event is to make sure that you demystify that mentality that the top level people have and let them understand the true value that IT is giving the company. Okay? At the end of the day, it's the bottom line. How do we make money? But if you forget about some of these things until you are attacked and you've lost so much money, then what's the essence? So we try to break things down for the very top level people to understand the true value of what the IT is doing for them. And then it's easier for you to go to them and present a proper budget for them to fund for you. So for the lower level, if you need our services in terms of even talking to some of your board level, we have programs that our training division does, such as board level trainings. And Ebo mentioned that my boss, Mr. C.K. Bruce, and himself were in Singapore just a couple of weeks ago with the board of Ghana Ports and Harbors. These are some of the things that we are trying to do to make sure that that level understands what is going on. And then gradually, it makes the work of those lower a bit easier, okay? So that you can present all that you need from them. So Sapiens and Vision is the division of Innovari that puts some of all of these programs together and events together to make sure that we are also putting out the best for the industry. And together we can grow our nation. Having some of these events, we do it via webinars, we do it via workshops, and then conferences. Okay? All right. Yes, so Innovari Learning Center, that is the Innovari Training Division. So also an award-winning division. In 2023, we were awarded by the Ghana Corporate Awards for being the training consultancy of the year. Oh, and let me just add, last year, Innovari was Cybersecurity Company of the Year at the Ghana FinTech Awards. So just to tell you some of the things that we're doing and some of the recognitions that we're getting. So Innovari Learning Center has been training people for so many years now. Actually, Innovari started off being a training organization, okay, even though we're doing a bit more consulting. But regulation obviously has made sure that we can expand and then do even more. And today we are a group that is made up of quite a number of service delivery divisions and subsidiaries. And we can boast of having trained over 2,000 professionals, especially in the IT sector. My boss, Mr. C.K. Bruce, also is a member of ISACA and was actually president of ISACA for almost 10 years. So that is quite an achievement. Please, let's give it up for Mr. C.K. Bruce. Next, please. All right, so these are some of the companies that we're working with in Ghana, okay? We are with a lot of savings and loans companies and a lot of fintechs. Like I said, we won the Cybersecurity Company of the Year at the Ghana FinTech Awards last year. So you see quite a number of savings and loans, fintech companies. We're working with ICAG, APSA, banks. I mean, all across the various industries that we have. And we are also outside of Ghana as well. Can you move on to the next slide, please? So we're working with Enterprise Group in Gambia, Nigeria, and then here in Ghana. We're working with one of the fintechs that we have, Aussie, in Nigeria and Ghana. IC Group here in Ghana and in Mauritius. And then Easeway Savings and Loans, we're working with them in Ghana, Zambia, and then in Kenya. So gradually, we're trying to, move across the sub-region and the continent, and very soon we'll become global, even though we are a wholly Ghanaian-owned company led by my boss. All right. So in our space especially, you cannot provide some of these services without having the requisite certification. So as a company, I've showed you the certifications that we have. We're ISO 27001, we're a tier 1 accredited company. But our consultants, okay, our staff are also certified to provide the kind of services that you need. We have all these certifications for our clients, right from CGIT, CISA, CRISC, CISM, from the ISACA group. We also certify our clients and some of the PECB certifications for 22301, as I mentioned, which is the business continuity, 27001, which is the information security management systems, is from EC Council trainings as well. Our staff, especially those who do the VAPT, they are certified ethical hackers, okay, and quite an array of certifications. So just to let you know that you're not dealing with a company that is fully certified, but even the individuals who would work for you are also certified. And finally, if you'd like to find us, these are our details. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. If you have any questions, please. So, like I said, I will be around and outside if you need my card or any of my colleagues.
Thank you very much. Please, let's do better for Albert Texan Esquire. All right, thank you very much, Inovari, for that splendid presentation. I think it's time for snack, please. We got some lunch coupons, so before you go out for snack, kindly show your lunch coupon. Snack should be less than 20 minutes because we have exhausted the time. So please, let's go have a quick snack and come back. So by 12:10, we should be back from snack and continue with IoT. We'll be having a session on IoT and artificial intelligence before we are done. So we have two exciting things coming up. So please, let's be snappy with the snack and come back. One word, DG wants to say something before we go.
Thank you. Thank you all for your attention, your time. I won't stay in between yourself and the snack. But just to say that when you see a Ghanaian company doing well, we must give it to them. So let's give another round of applause for Inovari and CK Booths. They are with us. They are behind us. They are training those who came for the enterprise architecture program. It was CK, and he was part of the consortium that delivered the training. And we'll continue to work with them because if I had my way, I think in government institutions, we should have a consortium, maybe 3 or 4 Ghanaian companies that will go around and do this sort of work for public sector institutions. But feel free to contact them. They are very good at what they do. Inovari, if I recall, I came back to Ghana in 2006. Around that same time, CK started his training, and look at where he is. I should have focused on training. Maybe I would have been somewhere else. Let's go and have snack. CK, well done.